Hi, welcome to my animation channel. Previously I showed you my blocking that I did for September 2020 11 Second Club competition. Today I will take up a small section of the blocking that I had done and I will take it to a level of kind of semi-polish. I will show you that how you can get more movement inside a particular movement. So the basic concept is that if you have some movement which is not looking all that interesting, or you want to make a particular movement a little more fluid, so what you do is you play with giving opposite twists in the body or any moving part, or you create an anticipation to that action. So these are basically two really good methods of putting more movement into a particular movement. So this is the section that I will work on, where he is hitting the keyboard button. So how I polish is that I first block out, then I take sections of say 50 frames or maximum 100 frames, and I keep improving the quality of those 100 frames, and then I move to the next 100 frames and then to the next 100 frames, like that. So here we can see that this action is looking good, not bad, but let's make it slightly more interesting. So let me Okay, I have thought of an idea. Let's take video reference so that you know clearly what I am thinking. So here is the video reference. I am going to put slightly more rotation in the spine in the opposite direction of the hand. Just ignore the headphone or any other thing. I'm not working on that right now. So let's get down to this spine section. So I have this picker open here off screen. So I give it a rotation like this, maybe. Yes. And what is the head doing? Head is getting turned little, rotated like this. So let me delete this frame, delete. Let me rotate it a little more. Let me rotate the spine a little more. One trick I can give you to avoid gimbal lock is that, for example, this is one pose and this was a pose which was meant to be a lot different. Okay, so in that case, if I have to avoid gimbal lock, what I would do is I will select all the controls that I want to work on and I will go to this channel and I will make it 0. By making it 0, I make sure that previously whatever rotation, haphazard rotation that might be there, I am avoiding that. I'm totally making it 0, and now from this fresh position I am going to get to my pose. This trick really avoids a lot of the gimbal lock problem. Okay, so let's get back to our animation. So let me rotate it a little more. little more like this. Rotate the head more, little bit on the neck as well, I guess. And something is coming. Yeah, it's looking better. Let me fix this hand as well. It's coming in the way. So now that is fixed, let's return to the spine. Okay. Okay, let me take this hand and okay. Let me work with the finger control now. Something like this, maybe. So always keep going back and forth. So the head has a slight jerk to it. Let me see. Okay, so it's not a jerk really, it's like getting straight too early. Let me turn it. It's become too much, I think. I will just reduce it a little bit. Yeah, so the spine was to be rotated a little more, so that's what I did here. So now this elbow is penetrating, so let me hold the whole vector and let me take it up currently. So we will not worry about all these things right now, these penetrations and all. We will just generally make the thing work, and then later on we will work on these intersections. So let's look at the short camera. So here is another problem that I am facing, is that because this is IK parented to the shoulder, so this is rotating with the spine. So when I am rotating the spine, this position is getting disturbed. So I have to be ready to face all these problems. So let me fix this now. So now I am fixing the arc of this wrist basically by going back and forth. Because right now I feel that more or less the spine is looking okay. So that's why I am now fixing the wrist. If the spine was not proper for me, then there was no point in fixing this wrist, because as soon as you move the spine, this will get disturbed. So first fix, in these kind of scenarios, first fix the main mover and then go into the smaller parts. So let me take this elbow little up. So let me delete this key So I have made few mel scripts of copy key, paste key, delete key, because I don't like going right click and then going to delete and all these things. So I have made mel scripts here. I will show you, if you don't know how to make these small mel scripts, I will show you how to make them. Delete this key as well. So the elbow is more or less kind of fixed, but the problem persists in the wrist area. So let me fix the wrist area now a little more. So after working on it for some time, here is what I got. So the wrist is now more or less in arc. Let me take a clear glass. So it's almost there. Let me polish a little more. Let me go to the graph editor once. So this can be a boring process. Like you can see, I am continuously going through the keys over and over again, flipping through the keys and seeing what could be improved or what is looking wrong currently, which can be bettered. So basically this elbow maybe I think we need another key here at 78. So we need to fix the elbow a little bit now because we moved the hand. Yeah, so now it's moving more or less in an arc. If you watch this elbow, it's like more or less going in an arc. Now this character doesn't have any individual control by which I can control the corner, this elbow. So I will have to go by only the pole vector. But in rigs which have that control, you can very easily go about just making the corner in an arc with the control that the rig will have. So let me see the graph editor once if it has any quirks. Okay, yeah, let me not rely too much on this graph editor for this rig because this is IK parented to the shoulder. Now because this torso is rotating and moving in its, in its own way, and because of that this is also getting moved, our IK handle. So this translation alone that it has will not give us the accurate representation of the action, so we will have to eyeball it in our case. So let's take a play blast. Here is a Mel script, this button. So in polish stage, what we do is we take care of the physical correctness of our action. So we do it by eye. There is another method by which you can really easily polish, is that polish the arcs, is that have a marker, a temporary marker, and then plot the points on the screen. And plot, let's say you want to make sure that my head is, let's say the head is rotating properly. So what you do is pick up a point. The easiest point to plot on a face is the nose. Okay, so plot the nose wherever it's going and see if it is flowing in an arc. And if it is not flowing in arc, just make an arc yourself, which according to you is the correct path that the face should be taking. And then along those points on the arch, take your nose, match the nose by rotating the head and make the head rotate in arc. So this is a very easy way. Another thing that we will do is we will go into the graph editor and check all the arcs if they are proper or not. Let's say X, Y, Z, all the arcs, we will check that if they are flowing in arcs or not. And of course on the computer screen we will always see that if we pick something with the eye. Yeah, so more or less this elbow is fixed, this arm is fixed, the finger is also now looking proper. So in Maya, whenever you are taking a play blast, try to keep this frame numbering on, which is done from here. If you go to this window, display head-up display, current frame. If you keep that on, it gets very easy to check where the animation is going improper. So I will stop here. So what is polishing? Briefly, polishing is taking your animation to a level where it looks beyond apparent mistakes. In polish stage, you play with all the curves that you have. They should flow in an arc, because in reality our body always moves in arcs, because we are always like fixed from a rotating point. So our body is rotating. Let's say I'm sitting now, my pivot point is my pelvis, which is fixed to the chair that I'm sitting on. Then if I rotate my hand is actually pivoted from the shoulder. So basically, because we are all attached to a particular point, so our body always moves in an arc. And there is another reason why we move in arcs, is because it is the most efficient and easiest way to move. So in order to move most efficiently without consuming more energy than needed, so we will always be moving in arcs. Otherwise we could move like haphazardly as well, but it will use up lot more energy. So it's the most economical way to move, most energy efficient way to move in arcs. It's actually not that difficult. The only thing needed is that you correctly try to observe that what is happening. Always try to keep in mind that the physicality, the actual physical correctness of the action is maintained. Keep watching your own action, keep watching your own video reference, then try to match what you have animated. If it is properly getting animated according to the real physics, and slowly get to a polished stage. Polished stage is just about animating something and then watching it over and over again, and then thinking how you can improve, how you can make it little better, and then you make it better, and then again you keep thinking that what else I can do to make it slightly more better. So that's the way you keep on increasing your quality of the animation throughout the polish stage. So basically, when we work in production, what we do is we keep on polishing, and we keep on polishing till the time we really have to submit the shot. That's it. And remember that all the principles of animation have come from observation. So if you have the art of observation, the correct observation, then automatically many principles of animation will automatically be there in your work. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment in the comment section to let me know if you have any opinion or if you have anything to say to me, and keep animating. That's about it. See you in the next video.